Welcome to Module 4, AI Product Strategy. In this module, we're going to explore how to align AI capabilities with your business goals to deliver meaningful outcomes. Product strategy serves as the bridge between your vision and execution, and it guides your teams to solve the right problems that create impactful solutions. Now, for AI products, this strategy is especially crucial. The products often involve emerging technologies. There's dynamic data. This creates unique challenges that require thoughtful planning and make sure that you're aligned with your organizational objectives. So by the end of this module, you'll understand how to craft and implement a product strategy that not only leverages AI effectively, but drives measurable success for your business. So let's get started. Product strategy is the foundation for achieving your vision while aligning with your business goals. For our AI products, what this means is that you're going to leverage the unique capabilities of AI to solve critical problems that deliver measurable outcomes. So let's take a minute and break all this down. First, what is product strategy? Well, it's your plan that's going to identify the most important problems to solve and the time frame in which to solve them. It's going to bridge the gap between your product vision, what you aspire to achieve, and the effort needed to make it a reality. Now, it's interesting to note how AI products are different. Now, unlike traditional products, which are well-defined, AI products are dynamic, data-driven, and involve cutting-edge technologies. This requires a strategic focus not only on solving the user problem, but making sure that you're aligning the AI methodologies with your business objectives. For example, an AI-powered recommendation engine must balance technical feasibility, the user personalization, and potential revenue generation. Now, the role of you as the product leader is very important. And in the product operating model, leaders are found often within the data science and analytics leadership. They play a dual role. First, they define the product strategy by identifying the critical problems to solve, and then they decide also on which AI methodology or technology to use to achieve those desired outcomes. For instance, a data science leader might determine that reinforcement learning is the best approach for a dynamic pricing model based on evolving customer behavior. These types of decisions guide the team. They ensure alignment between the business goals, the AI capabilities, and the technical execution. A clear and actionable product strategy ensures that teams stay aligned. Resources are focused on impactful work, and AI products deliver value to both the business and to customers. The product operating model outlines 4 core principles that guide effective product strategy. These principles are particularly critical when working with AI products, and they help navigate the complexities between emerging technologies and dynamic data. So let's take a moment and break them down. First, you need to keep focus. You do this by prioritizing the most impactful problems to solve. For example, if customer retention is a top business priority, your focus might be on building a recommendation engine to personalize your user experiences and thereby increase engagement. Also, your strategy needs to be powered by data-driven insights. The decisions that are being made should be driven by data, user feedback, enabling technologies, and market trends. For instance, insights from user behavior data might reveal opportunities to improve a chatbot's conversational abilities, driving the decision to integrate NLP improvements. Now, it's always important to have transparency. Clear communication about the decisions being made, strategies, and expected outcomes builds trust and ensures alignment across teams. For example, sharing why a particular AI model or methodology was chosen helps your stakeholders understand how it aligns with both the user needs and business goals. And finally, placing bets. When you're dealing with innovation, you have to take calculated risks. And there's a limited amount of resources that leaders need to allocate to specific AI methodologies or solutions. For instance, a product team might decide to explore generative AI for creating personalized marketing content, but they need to balance just the novelty of doing it with the potential gains of increased sales. Now, by applying these principles, you ensure that your AI product strategy is not only aligned with your business goals, but it's adaptable to the evolving landscape of AI technologies and user expectations. So now that we've focused on the 4 principles of product strategy, let's see how we can apply those to product development. First, let's take a look at focus. Imagine you're building an AI-powered customer service chatbot. Instead of trying to focus and solve every possible customer issue, prioritize automating the most common and time-consuming inquiries, like password resets or order tracking. By being focused, this is going to ensure your team delivers high-value functionality efficiently. Now be powered by data-driven insights. For example, leveraging user behavior data to identify where an AI solution can make the biggest impact is essential. Data might show that customers frequently abandon their shopping carts while searching for product recommendations, leading you to prioritize developing a personalized recommendation engine. For transparency, when you're selecting a machine learning model for fraud detection, communicate with stakeholders about why that supervised learning approach was chosen. Explain how it aligns with the available labeled data and the business goal of minimizing false positives. And finally, when you're placing bets, for the example, deciding to explore generative AI for creating automated product descriptions. While it's a new and untested approach for your team, the potential payoff in terms of scalability and user engagement is going to justify the calculated risk. Now, these are just a few examples that show how the principles of product strategy guide AI product teams in solving the right problems, leveraging data effectively, and balancing innovation with risk. By applying these principles consistently across your planning and your strategy is going to ensure that your AI products not only meet your users' needs, but also deliver measurable value to your business. Product leadership plays a pivotal role in defining and driving AI product strategy. Now, in many mid-sized to large organizations, this responsibility falls to leaders within the data science and analytics organization, who bring a unique perspective on both the technical capabilities and business alignment. Now, here's how product leadership contributes to the overall AI strategy. First, they define the product vision. Leaders craft a very clear, customer-centric vision that guides the overall team's efforts. Let's say, for example, the vision for an AI-powered recommendation engine might be to help customers discover products they'll love while increasing sales. Now, second, leaders have to choose AI methodologies. They're going to decide which AI techniques or technologies to prioritize. They might evaluate whether a supervised learning, reinforcement learning, or generative AI model is best to address the identified problem. These decisions are often based on an assessment of data readiness, technical feasibility, and the business objectives. Third, there's a need to balance innovation and risks. Product leaders need to manage a portfolio of initiatives, placing strategic bets on emerging AI technologies. For example, exploring generative AI for content creation might be a calculated risk with a significant potential ROI. Fourth, it's important that they align the teams and resources that are needed. Effective leadership is going to ensure that cross-functional teams, where there's product, data scientists, and engineers, are available and aligned on the goals and priorities. Then the leaders are going to provide the strategic context that empowers these teams to make informed decisions and execution. And fifth, we need continuous strategic adjustments. AI products are evolving every week, and as new data, user feedback, and market trends emerge, adjustments need to be made. Product leaders must adapt their strategies dynamically, ensuring the team stays on track to deliver value. By steering the AI strategy with vision, insight, and adaptability, the leadership ensures that AI products not only solve critical problems, but also drive measurable success for the organization. Now let's take a minute and bring everything together into this step-by-step framework for developing an AI product strategy. This framework aligns the principles of the product operating model with AI-specific considerations. So once again, let's go through the framework. First, we need the product vision. Say we're beginning with a customer-centric vision that clearly articulates the desired outcome. An example of this would be for a fraud detection system. The vision might be to reduce fraudulent transactions by 90% while maintaining customer trust. Now, what is the critical problem that we want to solve? Well, using data insights, market trends, and stakeholder input, we can pinpoint the most pressing challenges. So, for example, analyzing transaction patterns could reveal a spike in specific fraud schemes, highlighting a need where to focus. Then, we need to prioritize which AI methodologies we're going to use. For example, choosing a supervised learning model for fraud detection is a good choice because it's going to work well with the labeled data. Or maybe a generative AI model to create synthetic data to improve our model training. We also need to balance risk. Developing a roadmap that aligns key milestones, resource allocation, and expected outcomes helps us to make sure we're on track and make adjustments as needed. For example, your roadmap might include phases for data collection, model training, prototype testing, deployment, and make sure to call out any risks. We also then need to make sure that the teams and resources are aligned. There needs to be cross-functional alignment, making sure that there's clear roles and responsibilities defined for each of the team members and what they're expected to, and what their outcomes are expected to be. And finally, we need to measure and iterate. Defining metrics and KPIs to measure success is essential. And then use these to guide your iterations and through your phases to improve your solutions over time. For example, as you're monitoring false positive rates and user feedback, use this data then to refine your fraud detection model. Now, by applying this framework, it provides a structured approach to creating AI products that are measurable and stay aligned with your business goals. By following these steps and repeating them and refining them, you can guide your team with clarity and with confidence. Let's see how the framework for AI product strategy comes to life with a real-world example. Imagine your team is tasked with developing a personalized recommendation engine for an e-commerce platform. Here's how you would apply the strategic framework. First, we need to define the product vision. Let's say that vision is help customers discover products they love while increasing purchase frequency and average order value. Then we need to identify the critical problems to solve. We can settle on the problem that customers are browsing but not purchasing because they can't find relevant products quickly. An insight that we gain from analyzing user behavior reveals that customers spend time searching for items but rarely use the provided filters. Now we can select an AI methodology. We can do that by using collaborative filtering to recommend products based on similar users' purchasing patterns. Then combine that with content-based filtering to analyze the product attributes. Now, how do we get this all aligned? In placing bets, we create a strategic roadmap. First, we divide it into phases, gathering the historical transaction and user behavior data. Then we're going to train and validate our recommendation models. And then we're going to deploy the platform and do A/B testing, validate its impact on engagement and sales. We make sure that the teams are aligned and that we have the needed resources. We have our data scientists, our tech lead, and our product manager taking each of their respective roles. And then we measure and iterate. We track our click-through rates and average order value along with our conversion rates. And we keep refining the model using the new data and direct user feedback to improve our recommendation relevance. Now, a case study like this illustrates how the framework helps your team to stay focused, make informed decisions, and create a product that delivers both user and business value. By following these steps, you can confidently lead your team through complex AI product initiatives. Congratulations on completing Module 4, AI Product Strategy. Let's take a moment to recap the key concepts we covered. First, we talked about defining your AI product strategy. We learned that product strategy bridges the gap between vision and execution, and it focuses on solving critical problems and achieving measurable outcomes. Next, we talked about the principles of AI product strategy. Focus, powered by insights, transparency, and placing bets. Now, these 4 principles guide decision-making and align your teams with the organization's goals. Third, we talked about applying the principles to AI products. We demonstrated how these principles can be applied to real-world scenarios, such as developing chatbots, recommendation engines, and generative AI solutions. We also talked about the role of product leadership. Often this is leaders in the data science and analytics organization, where they're defining the vision, prioritizing the methodologies, selecting the problems, and ensuring alignment between the business objectives and technical execution. We discussed the framework for the AI product strategy, a structured approach for creating a product strategy that emphasizes vision, prioritization, team alignment, and measurable outcomes. And then we had a couple of case studies, the ones specifically about the recommendation engine. And you saw how that framework can guide the entire AI product lifecycle from problem identification to iteration. Now, by mastering the principles and framework of the AI product strategy, you're now equipped to lead teams in solving critical problems, leveraging these capabilities, and driving meaningful outcomes. Now, in the next module, we're going to dive into AI product discovery, where we're going to explore techniques for rapidly identifying and validating solutions. Great work so far, and let's keep building your expertise.